Hey, what's up, YouTube? Little man with a big opinion here. We're about 3 days away. I think it's the 27th. I don't know. We're in that weird period between Christmas and New Year's where time ceases to exist. But thought I'd release this video. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about the three things that a prepper in 2020. For a prepper in 2020, like the first 3 things you need to do. Blah, words are hard. So this is for someone that has never done anything in prepping, does not know the first idea of prepping, and they're just, they're starting fresh. It's like, say you just graduated high school and you're in the real world and bam, I want to start prepping. Or I'm 15 years old and I got my first car from my parents and I crashed it and it shook my mind and told me I needed to do something about my life. I don't know, whatever your reason is. Maybe you saw something on YouTube, maybe a family friend convinced you that it's a good idea. But first 3 things that a brand new prepper should do, and I believe the very first thing out of any of the skills, just anything, is knowledge. So breaking down knowledge, you need to know why you're prepping, what you want to prep for, what kind of preps to get. So all of, basically everything of the who, what, when, where, why. Who's prepping? I am. Why do I want to prep? I think there's going to be an economic collapse. I think there's going to be another Chernobyl because I live within 25 miles of a nuclear reactor. I live on the coast, so tsunamis or hurricanes or tornadoes, natural disasters, I believe there's going to be a government uprising and they're going to institute martial law. Whatever your reasoning, your why, the what you're going to do about it, like what's your plan, how are you going to go about it, how much are you going to put away, how much time are you going to put into it, how are you going to become a more proficient prepper, or how are you going to become a prepper. All these things are pretty important when you're first starting out. So I think knowledge is the number one thing. There's easily 10,000 hours worth of free information on YouTube. Between my channel, it's pretty brand new. I'd say I have maybe 48 hours worth of prepping knowledge on here. I'd give a big shout out to, Canadian Prepper, Bear Independence, City Prepping, Rule the Wasteland. I think that's one. I think he calls his name Rule the Wasteland, but I think his channel named something else. All these different individuals. I've watched a couple things from Alaskan Granny, or Pastor Joe Fox at Viking Preparedness. Every single one of these individuals have been doing this for much longer than I have. They're huge inspirations. Some of them are more successful than others, but I think all of them give a good point. All of their knowledge helps. I think my knowledge helps, and so you just need to become informed. This will kind of point you in the direction of what you need to buy, what you should buy first, how you should buy your stuff, whether you want to buy it, 150 round box of ammunition at a time, or whether you want to do a 2,000 round order and save 2 cents a round. Do I buy rice and put it in Mylar bags, or I put it in mason jars? All this information, knowledge is the most important thing if you're a brand new prepper starting out. And so that's, definitely numero uno on my list. Number 2 item is once you have figured out, hey, I'm gonna do prepping, let's just say you're a generic prepper and FEMA says 72 hours worth of food, water, and means to survive, so I'm gonna go generic and get food, water, security. Awesome. Next thing you need to do is you need to set a goal. You know, it kind of goes along the lines of, you know, new year, new me, New Year's resolution stuff. Set a goal within prepping. It's setting a goal just like any other thing. Whether you want to, you know, finish a book every month to increase your literacy knowledge or your capability of the English language and grammar. Whether you're trying to lose 10 pounds worth of fat and gain 5 pounds worth of muscle. It's just like setting any goal in your life. You know, some people work really well making a massive 10, 15 year goal and just chipping away at it a little bit. Some people work better if they have a list of 100 week-long goals, and your brain feels good when you complete a week-long task of, hey, I'm gonna put away 25 pounds worth of dried goods in oxygen sealed, you know, containers, and it makes you feel good, so it kind of keeps you a little bit more on track. Some people are perfectly okay with, hey, I need to store 1 ton worth of dry goods. I put 10 pounds away with this paycheck, so, you know, we're getting there. Just however you set up your goal, set a goal and achieve that goal. That part's kind of on you. I can release a video on setting goals and meeting deadlines and stuff, but that kind of doesn't go along with the point of the channel. It'd be like its own random video, you know, how to set and achieve goals. But knowledge, goal setting. So, you know, I put goal setting second. Like, if your goal is to get into prepping, then obviously watching knowledge videos will help that out. But I think after watching 3 or 4 hours worth of prepping, you know, one of Bear Independence videos about storing, you know, beans, bullets, and butter or whatever. Then watching one of Canadian Preppers videos about, you know, what would you do in this situation that gets your brain critically thinking. You know, do you help someone? Do you barter with someone? Do you just shoot them? You know, whatever. And then, you know, city prepping, you know, it's just a great channel when it comes to, you know, living in a city or an apartment. And it, you know, a lot of people live in those situations, so it's better to watch his channel than, you know, Bear Independence, because, you know, he lives on some land. You know, he's able to store huge amounts of food. Well, maybe the maximum you can store in your apartment is 2 months. So watch 2 or 3 hours worth of prepping, get the knowledge flowing, get your brain, you know, turning. How are you going to accomplish your tasks I need to get over? And, you know, knowledge, goal setting, and then the last one is just committing to prepping. When I say committing to prepping, it's not I'm committing every single dime to. It's after I pay all my bills. You know, I'm never gonna go out to the movies ever again. It's just, you know, your commitment could be 1% of your GDP, your paycheck. It could be 20% of your paycheck. It just needs to become a habit. Or an addiction, or whatever you want to call it. Best way I can describe it is an alcoholic is someone that has a systematic schedule of drinking. So what that means is, if every Friday after you finished your work week, if you and your 3 buddies, and this is like, I don't see this really happening, but say you all bought 1 6-pack, and between the 3 of you, you each drank 2 beers, you played pool, and you talked about, just the work week and the wives or whatever, you are technically considered an alcoholic even though you only drink 2 beers every Friday, because you have a systematic schedule of when you drink. Versus you go to the bar on Tuesday night because they have $2 shots, and you go Friday night after work, and it's the weekend, so you go Saturday, and you're spending $40 each time you go to the bar, and you're coming home intoxicated. That, I would say, that really makes you an alcoholic. But technically a systematic form of drinking turns you into an alcoholic, even if you never become intoxicated. So, point of me saying that is, if you become a systematic prepper because you spend $75 from every paycheck, then good for you. You have created a habit, you've created an addiction, and you're sticking with your goal. If you spend $10 from every paycheck and you do it for more than 7 weeks, you are a systematic prepper. You are most likely doing more than other people are doing, but you've created a habit, and whether or not you increase or decrease, your commitment level to this, that's on you, that's up to you, but you need to commit to this. If you've taken the time to, learn something about prepping and create a goal, then you need to contribute to it. If you're, trying to retire with stocks, and you spend $25 on each paycheck, I believe you're doing better than the guy that every year he just throws, $500 or $600 into it and says, "Hey, I did it. We're cool," and he just moves on. Except he kind of throws it in. One year he does it in March, and one year he does it in June, and the next year he did it in January. There's nothing systematic about that. It's really hard to upscale the commitment if you're just kind of randomly contributing to prepping. If your current job, you're able to put away 1 box of bullets and 2 pounds of beans each week, and you say, "Man, I want to increase my commitment to this to 2 bags of beans and 2 boxes of bullets," well, then it's a much easier task going into your goal setting to say, "Hey, I need to cut back on going to fast food 3 times a week. If I go to fast food 2 times a week, then I can meet my new prepping goal." Versus, "Hey, I put in $600 this year into the old stock market, but I had an expense come up for my car. I had to replace 2 tires, so I'm not going to be able to do that this year." And then you just kind of shrug it off of, "Man, I can't put anything in, even though the cars only cost, or the tires only cost, $500, and you normally put in 6. You don't think about putting in that extra 100, even because it might help you a little bit. So, 3 brand new things for preppers. I'd say knowledge is the biggest thing. You need to know why you're prepping or what you want to prep. You need to know, what kind of stuff I should get, what kind of stuff I should avoid, how I should stack stuff, how I should, go about, becoming a proficient prepper. Then obviously goal setting to tie in with the new year. If you're going to start prepping, making it a New Year's resolution, for some people, they lock into those, and it is, set in their mind that they're going to accomplish their New Year's resolutions. And then, the final thing is just commitment. And the last two, they kind of go with anything you want to do in life. So you can kind of make this video not about prepping if you want to. But I made it prepping. And we're at 15 minutes. I'm going to wrap this one up. If you like the video, please leave a like. If you like what I'm doing with the channel, please consider subscribing. And if you'd like to support me, I post my Venmo account. I will probably start a PayPal here pretty soon because I don't know how many people use a Venmo. But until next time, this is Little Man with a Big Opinion, and we're signing off.